Rivers Executive Council approves 1.85 trillion naira budget of resilience, growth, development. Resident doctors threaten nationwide shutdown over federal government's failure to implement agreed demands. Plus, several Niger state schools under lock for fear of invasion. State is the treasure base of the nation. Do you love and care about her and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. It is a task we must accomplish. This is a welcome to the world news on Rstv Television. I am Obubele Parker presenting, and I am live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. Don't forget, click that notification bell so you'll receive me live whenever I am here and others. Now, details of news. A proposed budget of 1.85 trillion naira has been approved by the Rivers State government, tagged the Budget of Resilience for Growth and Development. It was endorsed at the first council meeting of the year held in the executive chambers of Government House, Port Harcourt. Our correspondent, Tamno Barabi Ibuluwo, was there and filed in this report.
This first Executive Council meeting of the year had in attendance 8 commissioners, 5 newly sworn-in special advisors, some permanent secretaries and heads of agencies, with the governor presiding. After the meeting, the special advisor on economic matters and social development, Peter Mayday, announced that the council approved the aggregated budget. He said the budget will prioritize infrastructure, health, education, agriculture, youth empowerment, and human capacity development while focusing on recovery and inclusivity.
We continue to say that the State Executive Council has graciously approved the aggregate sum for the provision of goods and services of Rivers State for the year 2026 in the figure of 1,854,248,734,475 naira 76 kobo as the volume of the budget for 2026. Main talks of the year 2026 proposed estimate has been fashioned to enable the state accomplish and conclude ongoing projects, as well as clear out outstanding obligations in key critical sectors such as infrastructure, health, education, agriculture, human capacity development, youth empowerment, culture, tourism, information and communication technology, etc. It is against this backdrop that the State Executive Council has respectfully approved and considered that the budget theme for 2026 is a budget of resilience for growth and development.
Also speaking, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Communications, Onosirawu, said the government remains committed to effective fiscal discipline that will translate into value for money spending and improved well-being for the people of Rivers State. The proposal is expected to drive growth, resilience, and sustainable development across the state.
As you are aware, we just finished our ESCO meeting, which basically looked at the proposal for the 2026 budget. With me is the Special Advisor on Economic Matters, newly sworn in, and the Special Advisor on Finance, also newly sworn in. As you are aware, the Governor Sumulari administration is determined to breach the lost grounds. And for that reason, a very robust budget figure has been arrived at after a very conscious deliberation to put our state where it needs to be. I will now invite the Special Advisor on Economic Matters, Professor Peter Mayday, to give us a rundown of what we came up with in terms of figures. Essay.
Tamunno Barabi Ibulubo, Rstv News.
Now to national matters. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Joash Ampito, has called on staff of the commission to work collectively to build an institution trusted by all and sundry, and ensure that every eligible voter is empowered and every vote truly counts. In his New Year message titled A Season of Renewal, Ampiton expressed optimism that credible electoral processes can be achieved through unity, discipline, and collective effort as preparations for the 2027 general elections gather momentum. Addressing national commissioners, resident electoral commissioners, directors, and staff nationwide, Ampiton said the new year represents a moment of renewal and deeper commitment to Nigeria's democratic project. Looking ahead, the INEC chairman said that the commission must intensify preparations for the Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections scheduled for February, as well as the off-cycle governorship polls in Ekiti and Osun states. He stressed that preparations for the 2027 general elections remain paramount, adding that INEC's goal is to deliver a free, fair, credible, transparent, and inclusive poll. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, also called NARD, has announced it will resume an indefinite, comprehensive strike from 12 January 2026, following the federal government's failure to implement agreed welfare demands. The decision was announced on Friday after an extraordinary National Executive Council meeting held on 2 January, shared on X by the president of the association, Dr. Mohammed Suleiman. In a statement by Suleiman, the association said the strike, tagged TIX 210, would begin at exactly 12 midnight on 12 January, stressing that it would only be suspended after full implementation of its demands. Suleiman said NARD had directed all center presidents across its 91 centers nationwide to hold Congress meetings and brief the media within the next 7 days. Now, several public and private schools in security-affected areas of Niger State will remain closed, even as the state government has approved the reopening of schools in locations deemed safe from 12 January 2026. The Niger State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Dr. Hadiza Asade Mohammed, disclosed this in a press statement, explaining that only schools situated in areas assessed as safe and secure are permitted to resume academic activities. Schools in communities considered unsafe will remain closed until cleared by security agencies. She said the decision followed security assessments and consultations with relevant security authorities with the aim of safeguarding students, teachers, and school communities amid persistent insecurity in parts of the Niger State. The Nigerian Airspace Management Agency has reassured air travelers that Nigeria's airspace and airport landing facilities are safe and fully operational during the current haze associated with the Harmattan season. In a statement signed by the spokesperson of the agency, Dr. Abdullahi Musa, the agency addressed public concerns over flight operations amid reduced visibility during the Harmattan. The Nigeria Airspace Management Agency dismissed insinuations that navigational facilities across airports are poorly maintained or unfit for operations during the haze period, describing such claims as misleading and not supported by technical facts. According to the agency, all navigational aids at federal government airports are routinely maintained, flight checked, and calibrated in strict compliance with the International Civil Aviation Organization standards and recommended practices, as well as the Nigerian civil aviation regulations. Now, on our business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria has warned that rising non-performing loans in the banking industry pose a growth threat to banks' profitability, credit creation, and overall risk-bearing capacity. The Apex Bank gave the warning in its 2026 macroeconomic outlook for Nigeria, released recently, entitled Consolidating Macroeconomic Stability Amid Global Uncertainty, which assesses emerging risks to the financial system against the backdrop of domestic reforms and an uncertain global environment. The report showed that the industry's non-performing loans ratio stood at an estimated 7% relative to the prudential limit of 5%. The level of non-performing loans reflected the withdrawal of the regulatory forbearance granted to banks during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the CBN, elevated NPL levels could undermine banks' balance sheets and weaken financial intermediation if it is not properly contained. This is the world news on River State Television. River State is a treasure base of the nation. Do you love and care about River State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. It is a task we must accomplish. Watch us live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. Just say click and then you see me live. Coming up after this break, Ukraine's Zelensky names new spy chief. And in sports, a former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua returns to UK after fatal car crash. These and many more stories are coming your way when we come back after this break. Don't go away.
There is something about this God
activating the unexplainable love of God.
Greater love had no man than this.
Better love than no man,
That a man laid down his life for his friend.
You see, when God loves you, he fights your unseen battles. You are sleeping, you don't even know what is happening, but he's there fighting your battles for you. You are sitting in your house, he will raise a voice somewhere to be campaigning for you. Today, every storm in your life shall become still. The best way to find true love is to find God. Remember, God never sends you into a situation alone. He goes before you, he stands beside you, he walks behind you, he's always with you. All those that rejected you, as the Lord liveth, they must surely bow before you. When you have nothing left but God, you will discover that God is enough. God knows how long you have waited. Every second will be what at the end. So it doesn't matter how the devil have damaged your life now. Don't worry. God is about to remold you, repackage you, redesign you, and beautify you.
OPM, Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
It's my pleasure to have you again on the news. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has named spy chief Kyrylo Budanov as his new chief of staff just over a month after his previous top aide resigned in a corruption role. The 39-year-old has until now led the Her military intelligence, which has claimed a number of highly effective strikes against Russia. Zelensky also said he intended to replace his defense minister, Denis Shmyhal, appointing his current Minister of Digital Transformation, Mikhailo Fedorov, to take up the post. The president added that he had already instructed his new office chief to update and present key documents regarding the strategic foundations of Ukraine's defense. The chief of presidential staff in Ukraine is historically a very powerful position, which wielded about as much power as the president himself. Now, reports reaching our news desks say at least 2 people have died after a powerful earthquake hit southern and central Mexico. The epicenter of the 6.5 magnitude earthquake was near the popular tourist town of Acapulco, near San Marcos, in the southwestern state of Guerrero, which suffered moderate damage. A 50-year-old woman died in Guerrero, the state's governor Evelyn Salgado said, while Clara Brugada, Mexico City's mayor, confirmed the death of a 60-year-old man and said 12 others had been injured in the capital. Mexico is situated in one of the world's most seismically active areas, sitting at the meeting point of 4 tectonic plates. President Claudia Sheinbaum was holding her first press conference of the year when the earthquake struck. And now to sports. The Opata Unity Cup competition ended this year with Edoha Football Club lifting the trophy after they defeated the Young Stars of Ikata by 5-4 in a pulsating penalty shootout after regulation time ended 0. The tournament took place at the UPE School Field of Edoha Town in the Hoda East local government area of River State. Buka Umeda covered the tournament organized in collaboration with the Ogu's Youth Development and Empowerment Organization.
The competition, an annual football tournament, is planned to unite the youth and create pathways for football enthusiasts. Both teams skillfully displayed their talents in a goalless 90 minutes of play. The trophy and medals were presented to participating teams, including a branded number 10 jersey of Rivers United FC to the Nyudu Opata III of Opata Kingdom, His Majesty Nyudu Felix Enene Otuaripo, and the Ezubojekwe Lobo, Right Honorable Edison Ehie. Addressing the gathering, Nyudu Otuaripo congratulated the champions and other teams and called on sons and daughters of Opata to work in synergy for greater success. The Opata Monarch commended organizers of the tournament and assured of UTC's sustained support for talent and sports development in Opata Kingdom.
Whatever you do, wherever you are, remember Opata. As we play today, just look at what the boys will do. If you can take 5 of my children out of this field for international competition, I will be the happiest king in Nigeria. My sons will not disappoint me. They know you are here and they will play in such a manner that you will be so mesmerized, just the way you mesmerize people when you play international soccer.
Special appearances were made by the Super Eagles technical advisor, Coach Augustine Owen Egwaven, and Rivers United FC handler, Coach Finidi George, who encouraged the players to train harder to be selected for bigger competitions.
There's always an objective behind whatever we do. And in this contest, I think age plays a major role. And when I look at both teams, there are quite some few young players. There are some players also that have come of age as well. But honestly speaking, I spotted about 4 players, 1 from one side and 3 from the other side, which I won't tell you. But I think they have a future. First, you have to give an opportunity and see how they make progress from here. Because this is locally organized now. If you take them away from this environment, maybe they can have a chance to actually improve.
The team that won through penalty deserved to win because we saw in the first half they dominated the game. In the second half, they scored the goal that was disallowed. If you look at the overall performance of that side, can they deserve to have won it? Congratulations to them. I hope they will keep doing what they are doing, come back next year and defend the cup.
Sponsor of the competition and president of Ogu's Youth Development and Empowerment Organization, Professor Chinedu Ogus, explained what informed his organization's decision to sponsor the football competition. Others, like His Majesty Noble Friday Wo, Eze Igbu Ehoda IV, His Majesty Anderson Igbuluka, Eze Ugbobi II, Elijah Uhwetu, Ahoda East Council Secretary, who represented Solomon Ochoma, Chairman of Ahoda East LGA, among other guests.
Continuing with sports stories, the federal government has released 3 billion naira for the Super Eagles 2025 Africa Cup of Nations campaign in Morocco. In spite of this, the Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) is expecting more money to cover the Super Eagles mounting tournament expenses following agreements reached on the payments of $30,000 to each player for reaching the round of 16 in the competition. Eric Chalet's men will earn additional bonus if they beat Mozambique in their next game at the Complex Sportif de Fair next week, Monday. Should they progress, the Super Eagles will face either Algeria or the Democratic Republic of Congo in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Super Eagles trained behind closed doors today as they prepare for their AFCON 2025 round of 16 clash with Mozambique. Super Eagles media officer Promise Efoge revealed on Saturday that this would be the 3rd straight day that the team would train behind closed doors. Efoge said head coach Eric Chalet decided to bar journalists from the team's training to avoid distractions, especially now that they are in the crucial stage of the tournament. The Super Eagles will come up against Mozambique for the 2nd time at the AFCON after their first encounter in 2010, where the 3-time title winners won 3-0 thanks to goals from Yakubu Ayegbeni and Osaze Odemwinge. In another news, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has named Cameroon's Abdel Nefer as center referee for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations round of 16 encounter between Nigeria and Mozambique. Nefer will be assisted by his compatriots Elvis Nupoe and Karin Atezambok for the clash, which will kick off at 8 p.m. Nigerian time at the Complex Sportif de Fe next Monday. And on a final note, former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has flown back to the UK after a fatal car crash that killed two of his close friends in Nigeria. The 36-year-old was a passenger in a Lexus SUV that collided with a stationary truck on a major expressway near Lagos on Monday. Reports say the funerals in honor of Joshua's close friends and team members Shino Gami and Latif Laz Ayodele, who died in the crash, will take place at a London mosque on Sunday. May your souls find eternal rest. And that's it on the news. Do you know that River State is the treasure base of the nation? Love and care about her and her peace. That is what you and I have as a task. Don't forget, you can click the notification bell on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online so you receive live feeds straight from the studios. To end the news now, another look at some of the major reports. A proposed budget of 1.85 trillion naira, christened the Budget of Resilience for Growth and Development, has been approved by the Rivers State government, endorsed at the first council meeting of the year held in the executive chambers of the Government House here in Port Harcourt. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has announced a resumption of an indefinite comprehensive strike from 12 January 2026, following the federal government's failure to implement agreed welfare demands. We had also reported that several public and private schools in security-affected areas of Niger State will remain closed, even as the state government has approved the reopening of schools in locations deemed safe from 12 January 2026. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.